Review and preview problems 12-6 to 12-12. 12-6, examine the graph of the circle below. A, find an equation of the circle. So looking at this circle, our radius is 3 units. My center is located at 0, 0. So the equation of my circle is x squared plus y squared equals 3 squared, which is x squared plus y squared equals 9. On the graph paper, sketch the graph of the equation x squared plus y squared equals 49. What is the radius? So looking at this, we know that this number right here is equal to r squared, so the radius is equal to 7. So if we sketch this on our paper, I'm going to sketch it on this larger graph. These are counted by 2's. 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. And I can connect all these points. If I had a compass, it would be even straighter. But we just sketched the circle with the radius of 7 and the center at 0, 0. 12-7 says, find the volume of each shape below. Assume that all corners in part B are right angles. So looking at the cone, I know that I need to find the area of my base, which has a diameter of 6, so my radius is equal to 3. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. So pi times 3 squared is equal to 9 pi. I then need to multiply that by the height of my cone, which is 10. So I get 90 pi, and then it is a cone, so we need to divide by 3 because 3 cones could fit into a cylinder. So 90 pi divided by 3 is 30 pi. Make sure it's volume, so you label it units cubed. Looking at question B, if we want to find the volume of this shape, we could do it several different ways. We know that this distance is 12, so we could find the volume of this internal piece by doing 9 times 10 times 12, which gives us 90 times 12, which is 1,080. We then could find the volume of our top and our bottom piece. The whole distance is 18, so if we subtract 12 from 18, we're left with 2 and 2. So we could do 2 times 21 times 10, which equals 420. And we have 2 of those bases, a top and a bottom. So multiply that by 2 and we get 840. We then need to add those 2 pieces together for our total shape, which gives us 1,920 units cubed. 12-8, before there were radios and satellite communication systems, ships would communicate with each other by using a string of colored flags. With 4 blue flags and 2 red flags, how many 6 flag signals are possible? So we can set this up doing a combination. So we have 6 flags total, so 6 factorial. We're going to put that over our blue flags, 4 factorial, times our red flags, 2 factorial, which would give us 15 possible choices. 12-9, a credit union offers a long-term account that pays 6% interest compounded monthly, and your college fund currently contains $8,500. What is your monthly multiplier? So remember, 6% we need to write as 0.06. Our monthly multiplier would then be 1.06 because we want to account for the original amount we have in there. B says write a function of the form f of t equals a times b to the t power. So our amount of money that we begin with, or A, is $8,500. Our multiplier is 1.06 per month, and our months are going to be represented by T. At the current rate, what will be the value of the account in 5 years? Well, in 5 years, there are 12 months in a year, so 5 times 12 gives us 60. So when we type this into our calculator, f of t, so in this, it will be 60 months or 5 years. 8,500 times 1.06 to the 60th power gives us, after 60 months, approximately $11,465 in our account. 12-10. Examine the diagram at the right. A. Write an equation using the geometric relationship in the diagram, then solve your equation for x. So looking at this diagram, I know I'm working with a right triangle. So I know that a squared plus b squared equals my hypotenuse squared. So x squared plus 8 squared should equal x plus 2 squared. Now be very careful when you are squaring the quantity of x plus 2 that you distribute it completely out so that you don't lose your center terms. So x times x is x squared, x times 2 is 2x, plus 2x plus 4. So x squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to x squared plus 64. Subtract your x squared. Those both cancel out. 64 is equal to 4x plus 4. Inverse of addition is subtraction. 60 equals 4x. Inverse of multiplication is division. So 15 equals x. Find the measure of the acute angle of the triangle. What tools did you use? Well, if we are trying to find the acute angle, and x is 15, we know our acute angle is across from the smallest side, which in this case would be B. So we can do the tangent. Remember, you want to use inverse because we're looking for the angle. This angle, more specifically, is equal, tangent is equal to the opposite over adjacent, so 8 over x. So we multiply by x on both sides. X times the inverse tangent is equal to 8. Remember that our x is actually 15. So we can replace that x with 15 and then use our inverse tangent button. Type in 8 divided by 15, and that gives us approximately 28.1 degrees for that. To find the other angle, you could do 180 minus 90 minus 28.1, which would tell us the other angle is approximately 61.9 degrees. 12-11, use the diagram of circle C at the right to answer the questions below. If the measure of angle X is 28 degrees, so make sure you always fill in your measures, what is the measure of arc AD? So if this is 28 degrees, the measure of this arc is twice that angle, which is 56. We then can subtract 56 from 180, which tells us arc AD is 124 degrees. If AD is a length of 5 and BD is 5 square roots of 3, what is the area of the circle C? So we need to find the diameter in order to do pi r squared. So we are working with a right triangle, so 5 squared plus 5 roots of 3 squared is equal to our diameter. So 25 plus, when you do 5 root 3 times 5 root 3, write it out twice. 5 times 5 is 25. Root 3 times root 3 is square root of 9, which is 25 times 3, which is 75. So 25 plus 75 gives us 100. We need to take the square root of 100, so the diameter of our circle is 10, which tells us the radius is 5. So 5 squared times pi gives us the area of the circle is 25 pi units cubed squared, area squared. If the radius of circle C is 8, and if the measure of BD is 100, so let's erase all of this. This time we're working in teal. If the radius is 8 and the measure of BD is 100, what is BD? Well, we know that this arc AD must be 80. This angle is half of that, which is 40 degrees. We can use right triangle trig, the adjacent side over the hypotenuse, which is cosine. So the cosine of 40 degrees is equal to the adjacent side, which is BD, what we're looking for, over our hypotenuse, which is 16. And when we type that into a calculator, we get that BD is approximately 12.3 units. 12-12 multiple choice. Based on the markings in the diagram at the right, which statement is true? So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle XYZ is not true because those are not going the same way. ABC is congruent to YX. So we first crossed over our 2 tick mark, so that one's not true. ABC is congruent to ZXY would absolutely be true. ZYX would not work. And we are finished.